everybody. Good morning. Crafting Journey here, that journey chick over on Instagram. Welcome to another edition of Crafting and Crime Daily. Today, day 5 of the Catherine Magbanua trial that I'm going to go over. And today is actually day 6. I think the prosecution may get through the rest of their case today, I think. But hey, welcome to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great, having a great Wednesday. I'll be doing a live show tonight at 6 p.m. Central. It's not crime related, totally crafting, whatever craft I decide to do. Right now, I'm diamond painting, just because this is a mystery painting that I'm working on. We're having a mystery painting event. I don't have no idea what the picture is. I've done probably more than a quarter of it, maybe more of the third. Still have no idea. It's some kind. I've covered up uncovered a table. Couple of tables with some floral stuff on one, like a coffee table, and then the other one looks like a regular table with a tea, like a tea service set up, and then I don't know. It's supposed to be a landscape, so is all this stuff outside? I don't know. Hi, Stitch. Stitch is very upset. Weather is still god awful. Oh my god. And he wants to go outside, bless his heart. I finally had to walk the dog today because last night our backyard is like a mud puddle, an absolute mud puddle. She came in, Tootsie, and she was getting mud everywhere. On my bed, the carpet, everywhere, the mud. And so I cleaned that all up, washed her feet. So I said, my sister, we just have to take her outside on the leash out front to walk where there's actual grass and no mud. So I actually did that this morning. I took my dog for a walk. Not too long, and the knee's doing okay. I'm getting ready to go back to work here in the next week or so. Yay! Did that seem enthusiastic enough? I don't know. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button. Today, he is going with me to the pharmacy. I'm going to let him, to get to my pharmacy, because it's in the hospital, I have to walk through the front entrance and then go down these long hallway and then, make this big circuitous route to end up where I parked, because you can park at the door of the pharmacy. It's just that they don't let you in that door anymore because of COVID. Since COVID happened, they've closed that door. It's for discharges only. So I'm gonna let the like button go in there and do that for me. Pick up the medication, and so don't forget to hit the like button. He enjoys the abuse, and please consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. I enjoy having you here on the channel, and if you're already subscribed, please consider becoming a member of the channel. You can do so. Just click the button down in the description that says join, or on the channel page it says join, or you can become a member of my Patreon. All the proceeds go to support the content of the channel, because I do all kinds of crafts here. Now, let's get on with it today. Well, first, National Scavenger Hunt Day was yesterday, so I gave you guys a couple of riddles. Let me find it. The first riddle was pepperonis and mushroom have nothing to do with this game. Now, you were supposed to go find a game piece. Train them to stand up. They might fall too soon. Such a shame. So the answer was dominoes. Yeah, that's a game piece of domino. The next one was, when you look me in the face, count 6 of them. I'm not an egg, but I have pips. 21 of them. Dice. Yeah. All right, I'm going to give you a couple more today, just because it's fun. All right. My sister actually admitted she cheated. She found this page to get the answer to number 1. I'm like, what? She Googled it. Don't Google it. That's no fun. Oh my God. I just thought that was hilarious. You guys. Anyway, I'm no pawn, so don't get any ideas. And I've got moves too. I've got power and can jump. Woohoo. What game piece is that? Okay. While dancing cheek to cheek, we might also be putting on the Ritz. This piece has got game. It's also got a little glitz. I have no idea. In fact, I'm going to cheat and look at the answer. Wouldn't have guessed that. So, interesting. So today is National Paper Bag Day. So paper bags have been around since the 1800s. They didn't start mass producing them until the 1860s is when the patents started coming for the mass production of these paper bags. Stitch, you cannot go out. It's raining. He's doing his dance at the door where he tries to turn the doorknob himself. Come here, buddy. Oh, he's so upset. That's his favorite place, outside. Let me get my pens out and start diamond painting here. And what color was I doing? Okay, it was way off to my side. So I got this bag with the paintbrushes in it, this cute little bag with the paintbrushes in it. But I have my paintbrushes in this jar, and I decided I'm going to put my diamond painting pens in this bag because they fit really nicely. Instead of having them all bunched up here and then throwing them off to the side when I'm not diamond painting, I thought, I'll just put them in this little bag. Super, super cute. So today, like I said, National Brown Paper Bag Day. Did you know at one point during my lifetime, we tried to get rid of the paper bags. Now, I always thought, and because it came out with a plastic bag. Plastic bags are cheaper to produce. They were lighter weight. You could hold more. My nose itches. Somebody's talking about me. Oh dear. I put a bucket of water by the door for paw cleaning, and the cats are very curious about that. They're such little environmental engineers, or what do they call? Yeah, environmental inspectors. I don't know. Oh, now they're headed to the laundry room. Get there. See, there goes one. There. Nothing going on in there. Poor things. They're bored. Now, so you would go to the grocery store and they'd say paper, plastic, and then you'd say, oh, I want the plastic, no more paper, because you're thinking I'm helping the, I don't know. I don't know why we were doing it. Here's what I thought we were doing, because I lived in Florida. I thought because if you store, a lot of people would bring home the paper bags with the groceries in them and not throw them away. You would remember folding. Here, you get to fold the paper bags. Fold the paper bags up and you'd save them. I don't remember why the hell we were saving these paper bags. But then in Florida, you'd get bugs. They'd come from the store, and then now they're in your house. And next thing you know, you got cockroaches running around your house all over the place. So I was happy to get rid of the paper bags. So now the movement is to get rid of the plastic, because paper dissolves in water. Plastic does not. So we're polluting our environment with plastic, and we need to go back to paper. Anyway, also, if you're taking your lunch in a brown bag, or, just consider the brown bag sort of a symbol of that, you taking your lunch. I would put it in like a nice container if that's something I did. Normally, if I'm going to take my lunch to work, I just throw the stuff in my purse. Throw it in my purse, sandwich, whatever, because, if I need to refrigerate it, there's a refrigerator there at work. But, if you want to get a nice lunch box or something, that's fine. Or if you just want to take a brown paper bag. But it's so much cheaper to do that than to buy lunch every day. Even where, you would think the hospital cafeteria, it'd be cheaper, they'd have an employee discount. Nope. They actually have a separate cafe where I work for the employees, which serves the similar stuff to what's in the good cafeteria. But the prices are kind of still high. Yeah, I think. And you can control your portions. You can control what you eat, healthier. So, in honor of Brown Paper Bag Day, get one and make a puppet. Remember making puppets out of the brown bags? Or take your lunch to work today or tomorrow, because you're probably hearing this later on today. So tomorrow, pack your lunch. You can start saving money, for diamond paintings or artwork, or coloring books, or yarn. Yes, think of all the yarn you could buy if you weren't purchasing lunch every day. Oh my word. What a coup. Yeah, don't tell anybody that secret. So last night I finished my This Is Us marathon. I think I went through an entire box of tissues, to be honest with you. That show always makes me cry. And then I was so ready for the final episode last night. It was kind of a disappointment. By the time my sister gets back from her doctor's appointment and everything, I've got one episode left. And this is where I don't want to spoil it. Anyway, it's one episode left. And it was actually, they could have ended it right there. I'm like blubbering at the end. But then they had to have one more episode, the final episode, which is kind of a disappointment. I thought it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't have any of the regular pizzazz of I don't know, it just didn't add anything to the show. I mean, the show had already ended to me. It had ended in the prior episode. Didn't need to have one more episode. Although there was a part that made me cry, and then I looked over at another part, my sister's crying, and I'm like, oh my God. That show, the acting in that show was so good. Oh my God. Then later on, I turn on this show. It's called Selling Sunset, I think. It's a real estate show. And I had heard another podcaster say, how much she enjoyed that show. So I go season 1, episode 1, and this woman comes in as a new real estate agent, and it's an in real life show, a reality show. This woman is married to the guy from This Is Us. I'm like, wow, how cool is that? The cute young guy, the blonde guy on This Is Us. There's the 3 kids on This Is Us, the heavy girl, the black man, and then the white man. They're triplets. And so she's married to the white guy. And I'm like, oh, he's so cute. And you're married to him. Of course, she's gorgeous. Anyway, I've gone very far afield of whatever we were talking about to begin with. All right, let's talk about the trial. Crafting and crime. That is what you come here for. So, the next day of the Magbanawa trial. So, the first witness is Jessica Rodriguez. Now, who the heck is Jessica Rodriguez? She's not one of the players I ever talked about. No, because I don't remember her testifying in the first case against Catherine Magbanawa, the first trial. But she is the snitch, Luis Rivera, the guy that's in jail, the guy that drove the vehicle up to Dan Markel's house, where Sigfredo Garcia in the passenger seat gets out, walks around, shoots Dan Markel twice, gets back in. Luis was the driver. So he's in jail. He was the snitch. He ratted out Catherine Magbanawa and Sigfredo Garcia. So this is his baby mama, Jessica Rodriguez. He refers to her fondly as his wife. Now, she does not want to be on camera because she does not want her face shown. She doesn't want to be on camera. So they offset the camera so you can see what's going on in the courtroom. You can see the judge. You can see the prosecutor. You can see everything, but you cannot see the witness stand. So she is afraid for retribution from the Latin kings. She's probably hiding out because her husband, who's now in jail, he ratted out somebody, and apparently that's against the code of the Latin kings, and she's in danger. If they figure out where she lives, Oh, the water bucket just got tipped over. I'm back. That was fun. They both went scrambling away from the crime scene. So then I get some towels out. Here they come back, because criminals always return to the scene of the crime. Now they're sniffing the towel, like, what did we do? These cats. Luckily, it was just water, and it wasn't dirty water. Now they're investigating. They're like, we have to investigate. So, what did Jessica have to say? You're like, Rebecca, tell us what she said. Okay, I'll tell you. Let me have a sip of coffee first. She testified that the night after the murder, they all meet at her house. Louis, Sigfredo, and Catherine had stayed in the car. But when Louis and Sigfredo come in the house, they come in the house with a brick. She doesn't know. It's in a bag. It's a plastic bag. I don't know if she wasn't allowed to speculate as to what she thought was in it. But you know you can imagine what we can surmise what was in it, of course. So Catherine stays in the car. So she goes out and coaxes Catherine to come in the house because she just had a baby. She's like, oh, come on in and see the baby. So Catherine comes in. She testified that Catherine was very fidgety and in a rush. So on cross-examination, they're like, how come you never told this when you were interviewed, back in the day? And she's like, they never asked. Seriously. I love that answer. You didn't ask me. The defense attorney tried to get her to admit that she didn't recall this until her husband was facing the death penalty for this murder. She's like, no, I'm telling the truth. This really happened. It's just, you didn't ask this, but this is the truth. They all met at my house. Now, apparently in her prior testimony, like I said, I didn't remember her prior testimony, but on cross-examination, they're saying, didn't you previously testify? She could have testified by way of deposition or something. She said, didn't you previously testify that all of this occurred on a different day? She's like, oh, like a different month, September or October. She's like, no, I had my dates wrong. It happened the day after the murder. It was in June or July. This was in July. Oh. So I don't know what the jury's going to think about her credibility, because although nothing she can say or do is going to help her husband, he's already made his bet and has to lie in it, Nothing she could say on the witness stand now is going to change anything. And given the fact that she's afraid of the Latin kings, for her to testify even a little bit that she did is kind of remarkable, that she would testify to them divvying up this money the day after her murder. So anyhow, the next person on the stand is the bank lady. This is she's the one that's analyzing the bank records for Catherine McManama. And she says, in 2013, the total amount of cash deposited into Catherine's account was about $13,000, which could account for her working for cash somewhere, as a bottle server somewhere, tips. But that was kind of the lowest amount, because then in 2014, it jumps up to over $40,000. And then in 2015, she gets more money. 2016, more money. But the largest amount of cash was in 2014. The bank analyst admitted she does not know where this, there's no way to tell where this money came from. I'm just telling you what the deposits were. She also testified that there were 47 checks deposited from the Adelson Institute, the dental office. And a lot of them were sequentially numbered, which means they were all written at the same time. And they were all signed by Donna Adelson, Charlie's mother. So what she would do is she'd get out the checkbook and write all these checks at the same time for different pay periods, and then just give them to her, or give them to Charlie to give to her. I don't know. Crazy. So that was deposited into her account. Now, she did testify on cross that she looked at the bank accounts of Charlie Adelson, and there were no matching withdrawals of cash from his account that would show he took out cash that would match the amounts that she was putting in to her account, if that makes sense. But we also know that Charlie, from prior testimony, often got paid in cash from his clients and stashed cash all over his house. So that is probably the source of the money. That's what the jury's thinking, I'm hoping. Or that's what they're going to tell the jury to think during closing. Hey, we know it didn't come from his bank account. It came from his house. It was all stapled together, and she unstapled it and deposited it. not such a smart move, actually, to deposit such large amounts of cash. There were a couple of checks from the Club Fate that she worked at that she never got any money from because both checks bounced. So she didn't get any money from there. Interesting. What is the bump? Okay, jurors are finally going to get to hear about this FBI operation nicknamed the Bump. So what it is, this retired FBI agent, he gets on the stand and he's testifying, but he doesn't want to be seen. He's off camera, so we don't get to see the witness stand. They actually, and this is all on film, the jury gets to see this film. This man walks up to Donna Adelson, Charlie's mother, and he hands her a piece of paper. Now, this piece of paper is a news article about the murder, and on it is written a phone number, and it has $5,000 written on it. Now, here's what he says to her. We know that your family has been taking care of Katie and her friend Tuto after your problem up north was solved. My brother is incarcerated after he helped you with your problem. We want to make sure he's taken care of the way you're taking care of Katie and Tuto. Now, Tuto is Sigfredo Garcia. So Donna Adelson puts this in her pocketbook, paper in her pocketbook, and she walks away. So what this bump does, it has the effect of creating this chatter. So Donna then leaves and goes and calls Charlie. And Charlie calls Catherine, and Catherine calls Sigfredo, and all these phones are bugged, and we're going to get to hear all of these conversations. So the FBI agent testifies that the phone call to Charlie Adelson, from Charlie Adelson to Catherine Magbanua, occurs less than 2 hours after he receives the phone call from his mother. He admits on cross-examination that the murder was not discussed in these phone calls. He says that during this phone call between Charlie and Catherine, he is relaying what happened to his mother, that she was approached on the street, and, he goes through the whole thing. And he sets up a meeting with her for Saturday night at this restaurant, Dolce Vita, and we're going to later on hear what happened at this restaurant. So this FBI agent is scheduled to be back on the stand today, and we're going to get to hear all of the recordings and probably the restaurant recording today. So what happened this day in history? Oh my goodness. 2 years ago today, George Floyd was murdered by 4 police officers, allegedly. One, the most serious offender, Derek Chauvin, has already been tried in state court. I did cover that case. You can find the playlist. I will link it in the eye. If you want to listen to the coverage of that trial, Derek Chauvin was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. He also is serving a federal prison time. He was charged federally. He did not stand trial on the federal case because he took a plea. So he is now in jail for the rest of his life. Now, the other 3 officers are set to be in state court for their trial in the next month or so. However, one of them took a plea, so now we're just down to 2 officers that will be standing trial unless they take pleas between now and then. But one of the officers did take a plea. They were already found guilty in federal court, these 3 officers. So for some reason, federal case came before the state case with the 3 officers, and then the Chauvin got tried in the state court first, and then the federal. It was weird. So probably in the next month or so, I'll be covering the George Floyd case again. But this is the day in history when he goes into this little neighborhood market and attempts to pass a counterfeit $20 bill. And the police are notified. He gets into his truck. He's quite inebriated or under the influence of some kind of drug. He's just acting very strangely, very sleepy, according to the witnesses, and the officers approach and they try to get him to cooperate, and he just is fighting them every step of the way. They can't even question him, They try to get him in the back of his vehicle, the police vehicle. There's a struggle. This struggle just goes on and on. He goes in one door, the police vehicle comes out the other door because he's just not cooperating at all. And he ends up on the ground, and George, infamously, Derek Chauvin put his knee on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes, and he suffocated and died. All the while, there are bystanders around telling some of these other officers, hey, he's not breathing. Guys need to do CPR, and they're ignoring him. These bystanders, some of whom had medical experience. Yes, I can hear you. Golly, can you hear him? He's very upset about this weather situation. And the one officer kept saying, he's not. Do you think he's not breathing? I think you think we should do CPR? And there's like, no, he's okay. He's okay. So that's why there's 4 officers involved. So that happened this day in history, very, very unfortunately. Yeah. So guys, that's the show for today. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow in Crafting and Crime Daily, or tonight in my live 6 p.m. Central Craft with Me Wednesday. We'll just chit chat about crafts. Anyway, take care, everybody. Bye.